What's good, everyone? Welcome back for another session. A couple of you guys will probably notice this already, but this is a re-upload. I basically made the mistake of an incoming call not being blurred out, so because of that, I was like, you know what, let me just completely redo this and add in my commentary on the overall run or whatnot. So again, this is a no-item run with pretty much the Rose, Zamasu, and also the Goku unit all on one team, and just kind of test it out on the Fearsome activation Cell Max event. So starting off the bat, I will say this. The Jin&Nolar Rose definitely needs an easy A because he is such a defensive liability right now. Attack stats and output-wise, it's not too bad, but because there's not really built-in skill sets toward the defensive abilities on this unit outside of the 66% defensive boost on the base level, this guy will take a lot of hits and damages, especially in the latter part of the event, even though this guy has like type advantage. So again, maybe in part 2 during this worldwide celebration, this guy will get an easy A, but he certainly needs one, especially on the defensive side. Once that happens, I think this unit will be certainly up to par with running this running it on a team like this, because flat out, I mean, this is a very, very fun team to run. And again, the only thing really lacking on this part is the ability to get that defensive boost. That's all I can say about that. The rest of the group, I will say the dark horse of the unit, or dark horse of the team here, is the Tech LR Goku Black with the Easy A. These guys actually do quite well, even defensively, even against the Tech type Cell Max enemies. So surprisingly, a good unit to run on this event. Obviously we have the Easy A for the AGL transforming Zamasu as well, so, I haven't really covered this in detail, so let me just go ahead and talk about that very quickly. Not really going to talk about the base pre-transformed state, because a lot of it, it's irrelevant to a lot of degrees, because after the third turn, you're pretty much transforming the unit anyway. So once you get into the Fusion Zamasu stage, you got the ability to stack with the raised attack and defense ability with the super attack, along with, a lot of the damage reduction abilities, and also the extra defensive boost and HP recovery, so a lot of good stuff with it. And throughout this event, I more or less focused on the stacking ability toward defense, just to mitigate some of the damage, especially on the back end of the event because of type disadvantage or whatnot. But overall, it's extremely good unit, I think, with the Easy A, and more than up to the standards of satisfaction to in my opinion. And again, I didn't really get to the mutated state of the AGL Zamasu unit, just because again I wanted to stack that attack and defense, mostly focusing on the defensive side. But the leader is obviously the brand new Tech Fusion Zamasu unit that is honestly a pretty incredible unit on its own. You've got the ability to raise the attack and defense for one turn at least. The ultra super attack will get you the massively raised ability toward attack, along with raising defense for one turn. But you do have the 4-turn limitation from the start of the turn on the damage reduction abilities or whatnot, and you've got all these other skill sets built in, and I'm not going to go into the details of it, but the point being, it definitely does help the rest of the team in terms of the defensive abilities overall, and especially once you get the omnipresence, domain ability. It pretty much nullifies the attack for the incoming enemy attacks or whatnot, along with providing like key +3 for extreme type allies, and also the other settings or whatnot. So certainly a great unit, and it's a lot of fun running it. Honestly, it's yeah, I mean, it's just a fun unit flat out. So I think versus the transforming AGL Vegito Blue unit, this is more of a practical unit in a lot of sense. Even though the AGL Vegito Blue unit is quite good in its own regard. So I think I'll leave it at that for that unit. I will talk about the Easy A for the Goku and Zamasu unit. Actually quite good. I focused my build, as you saw earlier, on the dodge abilities. It's more or less just meant to be as a floating support. You get that extra key +3 and defense increase to 70% for the Realm of Gods category type units, along with that extra key +1 and attack 30%, so it definitely does make a difference in that regard. And this unit does have decent defensive abilities. On this event, with the Cell Max version of the event, the unit will certainly take hits if you're actually hit. I think easily like 150,000 toward like normal attacks or whatnot. So again, I think this unit in priority levels, you definitely do want to focus on the dodge abilities, and the unit does have the high chance of evading enemies' attacks, including supers. So it just works out better to kind of stick with the dodge builds and the potential levels for that unit. I think the other one that I haven't really talked about too much is the intelligence type LR Fusion Zamasu unit. Now, it's not the greatest unit on this event, but I think it's more than good enough in terms of, you know, the built-in skill sets to, get that damage reduction to some degree, and also, you know, the defensive boosts are good enough overall with the built-in skill sets for the guy itself. So, you know, more than acceptable, and honestly a lot better than the LR Rose unit. Again, I could go on and on with the Rose unit, but once the EZA actually happens, which, you know, is certainly a possibility with this Worldwide 2023 celebration, you know, once that, you know, additional, hopefully the additional defensive abilities are built in with the EZA for that unit, I could certainly see it being a much you know, usable unit on events like this. So I think overall, you know, that's kind of the takeaway here. Again, the Tech LR Goku Black and you know, Zamasu unit is quite good on this event, just from what I can tell, you know, based on just kind of running through this a couple of times. You got the, you know, 15% HP recovery. You're able to, you know, build up the defensive stats once, you know, up to like 120% with each attack received. So, you know, that's a maximum of 120% toward additional defense, along with, you know, the base of like defensive increase of 50%, and then basically another 50% and guard all attacks for 3 turns from start to turn, stuff like that. So it's certainly a really good unit in terms of surprisingly a feasible unit on an event like this. You know, I've been picking on the Rose unit quite a bit, but he did at least save me with the enraged transformation, or, you know, whatever the right term is for that. But yeah, I mean, you nullify the incoming attacks, you know, in that sense, and you're able to apply, you know, a decent amount of damage during that setting. So of course, you know, that kind of reduces the Cell Max's HP quite a bit. I would say quite a bit, a decent enough amount to where, you know, you're able to you know, kind of prolong the battle and extend your run a little bit. So, you know, it's overall, again, at the end of the day, it's a very, very fun team to run, and just missing a couple of updates with some of the units, you know. Again, like, I don't want to keep rehashing the same thing, but EZA for LR Rose would be quite nice, and I think that'll mitigate a lot of things there. So we did see the domain kind of ability activated here. And again, you do have the ability to greatly raise attack for 1 turn, along with causing colossal damage to enemy with the 12 key, but massively raises attack for 1 turn, along with mega colossal damage to all enemies with the 18 key super attack. And then along with that, obviously, the nullifying attack directed at the character definitely helps out quite a bit. You get that key +4 attack increase to 300%, but also the ability to you know, change the orbs from agility and strength type to tech type. So along with that, I mean, one of the important key ingredients here is the Worldwide Chaos category allies do get an additional defense increase of 60% when you get 4 or more key spheres obtained during that particular, you know, rotation of turn. So I think, you know, on an event like this, it's all about defense. You know, the best offense is your defense, right? In this case, I know it's like quite a bit of a overplayed phrase, you know, especially in the NFL and stuff like that, but it certainly is the case here where the priority should be more or less toward the defensive, you know, mitigation of limiting, you know, damage and whatnot throughout, and once you're able to kind of set it up that way, it just makes life easier overall. So I know this is probably better to just kind of provide my overall commentary and comments in general in terms of, you know, the run itself of the no item run that I kind of was able to get through it. Again, I went through several runs before I was able to get to this point, especially just the simple fact that 1 or 2 characters, one more than the other, kept getting me killed. Look, I'm going to rehash this again, but the LR Rose, even though this guy would have type advantage, like the super attack, I mean, he was getting close to like 660,000 in damage. And I think the normals were like 100,000 at least, so yeah, it severely handicapped my team in that regard. But once the EZA happens, I feel like this would be a very, very good team build to kind of run on several events. And again, this is more or less focused on the Cell Max event and just trying to get through it potentially without a no item. So I was able to get through that and was pretty happy overall with the results. So that's my takeaway here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. As always, thanks for watching. Catch you guys later.